Fast forward, any come our channel so AGH Politics Avenue. On your podcast also trending because making headlines. Any a jump na EDB exumo. Breaking news be aba office of the special prosecutor. Now men oka say High Court Accra High Court Judge Justice Nyanti Inyendu. Etimi declare say office of the special prosecutor ni cases bia waye wa convict bia no wa boni nyina tuagu wa order se yensan enka asem no foforo na joy news ena na daroma otimi ede flyer na ababonten so a yedi bi exmo eno ene project ede ato screen so ede ama no was all conventions secured by the office of the special prosecutor is hereby declared void, and I order a fresh trial. Justice Nyanti Inyendu, High Court Judge. Onya yembo inra eye inseminum. Shana so am say AGH Politics Avenue.
Is a legal practitioner, a member of the National Democratic Congress as well, Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, a regular on the Friday belt. Last week we needed him in the studio, but he was not present because there were a lot of issues relative to his office and what they were doing. Senior, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. But why did you bring two MPP people here? And they have come to portray their colors white and blue.
Who says that?
Why? Why there? Blue here.
You want to do the introduction? Senior, you want to do the introduction?
No, I want to add on.
So I've just introduced you. I've just introduced you. No, don't worry. I've just introduced you. Let me introduce every other person, and then we'll see how.
So they have to explain.
Yeah. So Abraham Maliba is with the NDC. That's how I've introduced him, and I've done this introduction. There's also in the studio Ebo Bachman. Ebo Bachman is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party. Ebo has not had a good week. Good morning, Ebo. Thank you for joining us as always.
Good morning. It's always been a pleasure to be here. But then you know what happened to us. We still, at least two legs. We won one.
Barcelona will bounce back.
It's my team. Madrid. It's on our system.
It's my team as well. Also in the studio is Kamaldeen Abdullahi. Kamaldeen Abdullahi is a member of in fact, Deputy Communications Director for the MPP. So he's the MPP rep on the table this morning. He's also the former Consul General to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Good morning. Thank you for joining us as always.
Good morning, Akable. And thanks for having us.
Yeah, so he is the one in the white that Senior was making reference to.
You know what the Gombes say?
What did they say?
He who slaughters doesn't desire to slide down flat on his back. Never loved it. Why? For fear of being slaughtered. Why? MPP would have an individual here, and you have 3 NDC seated. Ebo Bachman is NDC. He says,
now I'm coming over. Okay, thank you, Director. Thank you. So you see the point. The point I sought to make is that allow me. The point I sought to make. Come on, hold on. So today,
You label me NDC.
The point I wanted to make is allow me to do the introduction. So I've introduced the MPP member around the table. Also in the studio with us is Austin Bracco Powers. Austin Bracco Powers is a private legal practitioner. Good morning, Austin. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll start immediately with you, Austin, and I want us to I'll give you a bit of time just to talk through your thinking about it. Let's start with the decision of the High Court judge. I mean, first, do you agree with the reasoning and the conclusion that the judge reached as well?
Just let me say good morning to your viewers. And I think it is important to clarify that I'm not a member of the New Patriotic Party. Neither am I a member of the governing national. No, it is important because of what you said. Yes, because of his mischief. So I needed to cure it.
Yeah, but my introduction was very clear.
No, I needed to cure it. I know there's an agenda by AB and his colleagues. So I need to put the matters in their
coming to UP.
Let's move on.
I think they slaughtered themselves.
Joseph, I've had the opportunity to read the 25-page judgment. And I must say that save for a few commentaries, judicial commentaries that the judge made, I think the judgment or decision was sound. Save some few prejudicial commentaries and I don't want to dabble in the prejudicial commentaries first. Let me deal with the substance of the matter.
Okay.
Now, I've heard many say that this is a terrible blow, or this will deal a terrible blow to the OSP. And they tend to bandit around that because of this judgment, the Office of the Special Prosecutor may not be able to do its work as expected. But it is important to point out that this is a decision of the High Court. It only binds the court below the High Court. It doesn't bind any other High Court. So, even though this is a decision of the High Court, any other High Court sees with another matter being prosecuted by the Special Prosecutor can go on. Because that is the position of the law. High Court are courts of coordinate jurisdiction. So no one High Court decision binds the other High Court. So I have said that even though this is the decision of the Justice Nyante, the other court sees with the matter, other matters, can go ahead. The OSP can go ahead and prosecute those matters. Because this is a High Court decision. It's not a Court of Appeal decision, which decision binds all High Courts. And it's not a Supreme Court decision, which decision binds Court of Appeal and the other court below. So the OSP has not been dealt any terrible blow.
I mean, how do you reconcile your conclusion with some of the orders that the court made, for instance? Because the court says that, well, under the supervisory authority of the High Court, it can issue various orders. And those orders, it could be prohibition, mandamus, and they have basically prohibited the OSP from prosecuting. They've also ordered that the AG takes over those cases. Would the OSP not risk being in contempt of a High Court if it tomorrow wakes up and shows up in another High Court and decide that they want to prosecute a matter?
Joseph, the OSP will not be, or the Special Prosecutor will not be in contempt of the High Court decision, because we have had situations where two High Court judges have given two disparate rulings on the same matter. So the person lost in one High Court and went to another High Court and got a different judgment. Would you say that was contempt of judgment, contempt of court? No, because like I said, the High Court decision does not bind any other High Court. So the other cases before the other High Court, the Special Prosecutor can go ahead and prosecute them. Now, Joseph, but what is the substance of the conversation? The judge is saying the Special Prosecutor lacks the authority. And I always say, Joseph, usually when you ask people to represent you, it is important you brief those people properly. I've had the opportunity to look at the memorandum accompanying the Special Office of the Special Prosecutor Bill 2017. And when you read the introduction, you have the conviction that this is a clear case of authorization. In fact, I compared it with the Iyoko bill and the other bills. And when you look at the tenor and the voice in which the OSP's memorandum was drafted, it was a clear case of authorization. Now, the thing is that what is the nature of authorization? When you read Section 56 of Act 30, it says may. And you know that when you read Section 42 of the Interpretation Act, it makes it clear that may is what? May is permissive and empowering. May is permissive and empowering. So they may. Now, in other instances, the Attorney General had given the prosecutorial authorization through executive instruments. But does it mean that the Attorney General could not use any other authorization form in terms of, let's say, statute, through statute, authorize another institution through statute to act? They can. So the conclusion, even though I agree with the judge, and I felt the Special Prosecutor or whoever represented the office was sloppy, because they needed to have shown the bill, the memorandum accompanying the bill to the judge, because we know per Interpretation Act, when you are trying to understand a particular thing, you must broaden the conversation.
Okay, so just for clarity, you hold the view that the act had granted authorization?
Yes.
Yeah, but how do you? Okay, let me ask this question this way: do you agree that, assuming the act has granted authorization, that if the OSP is prosecuting a matter, the Attorney General can enter nolle prosequa?
Joseph, if you monitor my commentaries since the start of this OSP shenanigan, I have said that the OSP is not as independent as many people claim. I have said from day one, being mindful of Article 88.3, that the Special Prosecutor could not do anything independently of the Attorney General. I have said, remember when the whole Kenofurata issue came, and the Attorney General office was saying that the OSP was being slow and sluggish. I stated that take the matter from them because you have the authority.
Okay.
They are prosecuting the matter in your name. So I've not been under any illusion that the special prosecutor is independent. And many people who have made such commentaries and bandited those commentaries around, I have told them that per my reading of the law and my understanding, the OSP could never have claimed to be independent of the Attorney General. So, so Joseph, the thing is that per the memorandum accompanying the special prosecutor bill, authorization has been given. And I'm saying that anyone who doubts should take a closer look at the bill and read it carefully. Sometimes when you read, I always say that when you read, let the words sink in.
Okay. So, I mean, if you read 88.4, it says, all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him.
Yes, sorry.
Authorized by him.
Yes.
Will a statute be deemed to be authorized by the Attorney General?
Yes, when you read it. Yes.
No, I'm asking you, a statute.
Yes, if a statute says, that's something that when you read a memorandum, you get understanding that.
No, I want us to stay with
yes,
the statute.
Yes,
itself.
if a statute gives you the authorization, it is all the better.
No, I'm saying that how is a statute giving an authorization by the Attorney General? Because the lawmaking process will be that the bill will go to Parliament.
Yes.
Parliament passes the bill. Of course, it's sponsored by the Attorney General.
Yes.
But Parliament passes the bill. The President signs the bill into law. So it's an activity between the executive and the legislature to bring the law into force.
Exactly.
But the provision says that the authorization is by him. Would that be deemed to be an authorization by the Attorney General?
Yeah. No, I would say yes. Don't forget that the Attorney General acts in place of the government. The Attorney General is a legal advisor for the government. In fact, even when you read 88 carefully, it tells you that the President can even expand the roles of the Attorney General. And when this whole discussion started, when the government of President Danko Akufo-Addo started the conversation to bring in the OSP, it was a conversation initiated by the Attorney General. And I am saying that the Attorney General then had authorized the special prosecutor to act or to take part of its prosecutorial powers. So a statute could amount to an authorization. It doesn't matter whether but
if a statute amounts to authorization, then how do you agree with Justice Nyandu's conclusion?
That's what I'm saying.
Because the OSP's lawyers argue that they have the automatic authorization from the statute.
But you see, Joseph, when you read the document, if they had shown him the memorandum accompanying the bill, then I would have been convinced that the judge didn't do his work well. Sometimes I always tell people, Joseph, you may have a good case, but if you don't produce the relevant document at the relevant time or at the right time, you will lose it. And losing it does not mean that you are not mindful of your rights.
Okay.
I am saying that whoever represented the office of the Attorney General did the very, very sloppy work.
The OSP, you mean?
Yes. The office of the special prosecutor did the very sloppy work.
Okay.
Because if the person had been mindful and read the memorandum accompanying the bill, the person would be convinced. And if they had shown it to the judge, I'm not sure the judge would have arrived at this decision. I support the judge's decision because, like I said, Joseph, you can have a fine case, but if you are not alive to your responsibilities to produce a relevant document, you will lose the case. And when you lose the case, don't blame the judge.
Okay.
Because the rule of the game is what? Evidence. But just let me touch on the prejudicial commentaries I found in the judgment, which for me was, I find it disconcerting. The judge, in one breath, he said that, in fact, he made a mockery of the special prosecutor or the office of the special prosecutor because he said they thought that the act amended Article 88. In fact, when you read that paragraph, it was very sarcastic. The judge was very sarcastic, particularly page 16 of that judgment. The judge was very sarcastic, and I thought it was a solemn moment, a serious discussion, not a place for fanfare. Then again, when you look at page 21,
where he talks about the engineering to fulfill a campaign promise.
Exactly. I was asking myself, I was cringing.
But those are obites that
no, but
judges in delivering decisions.
These are the things they do, and people say they are A political party, B political party. They must be alive to their responsibilities. Do a dutiful work. Don't engage in or meddle in petty partisan conversations. Other than that, you'll be branded. When they brand you, then you tend to say that I'm not AB, I'm not CB. No, do your work, maintain your neutrality, state the facts, and go ahead. This extra prejudicial commentary, Joseph, they are derogating from the seriousness of our judicial system.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, just for context, because some of you may not have read the decision, the second part, he says, the page 21 that Austin made reference to, he says, this is not the situation in Ghana, probably because Article 88 of the Constitution is entrenched. Yet, because there was the need to meet a campaign promise, some legislative gymnastics and re-engineering had to be done to see it brought to life without surmounting the glaring effect of Article 88 of the Constitution on the decision taking. So that's the first one. The second one he made reference to. Then when you go to page 16, where he was discussing whether the act amended the Constitution or not, he says, if officers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor held this belief or thinking, then indeed it was misconceived. He said perhaps the officers of the respondent, that's the Special Prosecutor, by their name Special Prosecutor, had erroneously assumed that subsection 2 of section 4 of Act 959 consequently amended Article 88 of the Constitution and placed them at par with the Attorney General. And so that is the other one that he makes reference to. Let me come to Abraham Amaliba now. And I mean, the same sequence. You agree with the judgment of the court?
But before then, the statement made by Braco Powers that the judge made a mockery of the Special Prosecutor's Office. What you just read, the last one, that the officers there thought that their office is equal to that. What was the mockery about it? What was the mockery about it? The next one, was it not actually a campaign promise? Today, we campaign for 23 hours. 24 hours.
Because you haven't delivered.
We campaign for 24 hours economy. The judge is
133.
The judge is part of the Ghanaian society. The judge knows what is happening surrounding us. Then in his ruling, he said that the NDC made a campaign promise. Is it true that it's a campaign promise or not? It is true.
The MPP, you mean?
No, I'm not talking about we ourselves.
Okay, okay, for the 24-hour economy. Okay.
If in future,
okay.
Suppose this big hole that there is lying there. If it were a campaign promise, if it was not like a dream that somebody had a dream, and then a judge says that this was a campaign promise to build a cathedral for God. What is wrong with that? So please, leave the judge aside.
How about the legal gymnastics?
Yeah, legal gymnastics.
And re-engineering.
Because that provision is an entrenched clause, articulated under Chapter 5. It's entrenched. Unless you do, in fact, he should have said legal sophistry. You know, a software. Yeah. Unless you do sophistry, you can't change that thing. And it is true that it was engineering. That's not an insult.
Okay. So let's now move on to, you agree with the conclusions, the reasoning and the conclusions that he raised?
OSP, the office is a good office, but founded on a bad law. Now, let me read the mandate for the OSP, not the Constitution, the mandate. And I'm going to talk about 4.2. Subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution, the office shall, for the purposes of this act, be authorized by the Attorney General. Can't you see an action that should be taken? Be authorized is commanding the Attorney General to do something, to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offenses. Where is the action of the Attorney General in this? Those who say that in this law, it is presumed that the authorization has been given. If you read this in ordinary English language, can't you see that this provision is asking the Attorney General to act, to do something? Whether he was going to write the authorization on a piece of paper, but he must do something. Where is that in? Good law, a good office, founded or forged on a bad law. I would have expected those in Parliament or those who are going to do it to say that for the purpose of this office, for the purpose of, where is it? Okay, so let me tell you what I thought it should have been there. Subject to clause 4 of Article 88 of the Constitution, the office shall, for the purpose of this act, be deemed to be authorized. Are you getting what I'm not saying?
We ain't some horo itimi course watching on so, Mamma and I was so gemre, that's any so bad in the Dumbi Edomiania, Unia, a bessin Asia.